Gentlemen, I have a plan. It's called blackmail.
What's up, everybody? It's Louis. Welcome back, Simp Nation, to my channel. We're going to be talking about Joe Biden. And I have a few other things that I was thinking about making videos on today. But I'm not too sure whether that's going to happen or not, as always. But for right now, I want to talk about Joe Biden because this video went viral this morning. This has to be from yesterday because I saw this at like 7 a.m. So this has to be from yesterday. Right now, Biden's getting lumped by a few different sources. Bernie's attacking him. He's having to defend himself against Bernie. I'm not going to bother bringing up Bernie's nonsense because who cares? Bernie's two-faced, and he talks out of both sides of his mouth when it comes to the establishment. He'll bash the establishment and suck its dick simultaneously. The press will interview him, and you'll be like, oh, I don't really think this or that. And then when he's out on in front of a podium, in front of a crowd, he'll be bashing the establishment. Bernie's two-faced. But Jill Stein attacked Biden either early today or I believe it was yesterday. And right now she's viral on Twitter because of Trump. Trump retweeted her. And it's her commenting on the obvious, which is the fact that Biden mentally is not all there anymore. And I've seen a bunch of videos floating around today in response where, and this is my example, prior to everything, I said that if you go watch his debates back in 2012 to now, it's night and day. Joe Biden has always been a gaffe master. He's always had issues speaking to some degree, but it's been minimal in the past. And today he's completely incoherent, and I know how this is going to sound, but he's irrational. He gets irrationally angry at people, and this is something that mentally ill old people do. And I got to be careful to some degree in how I phrase this because obviously it's a campaign year, censorship's going on. I've already been demonetized. I just need one more, flip of the switch and they'll terminate my account. So I'm not really sure how to phrase it that I can get by YouTube censorship, but cognitively diminished, cognitive decline, which is what the hashtag that's trending, or mental illness. I don't know how to frame it in expressing my view of what I see in this guy, which we will cover right now. The video, the viral video of Joe Biden talking to this random auto worker in Michigan. It's just so clear that it isn't just this guy being ignorant, and that's part of what we're going to be talking about. It's the fact that this guy is no longer rational. He has problems thinking. I'm not saying this because, I'm going to pull the lever for Trump and I don't like Bernie Sanders or I don't like Jill Stein or I don't like Kamala Harris or whoever else, any of these other Democrats. Although I'm not really sure Jill Stein counts being a Green Party member, but any of these leftists. It's not that I dislike these people or I especially dislike Biden. It's that I don't think Biden is rational anymore. I think that he has a severe mental handicap, and I would not vote for someone like this. Not because I disagree with his policies or find him to be a liar, and I do, but is he even a liar? And that's part of, what I want to float to you. Is Biden even a liar at this point? Because if you listen to this example and many others, I don't think he's necessarily lying. I think that he doesn't understand what's happening. I think he's forgetting what he's saying. He's forgetting what has been said to him. He's having a hard time trying to argue with this guy because he's not mentally all there. Say that I'm wrong. No. He's fine and he's just lying. I'm saying that I think mentally speaking, he's having problems following what this guy's saying, and he's getting irrationally angry as a direct result of that. And to me, again, my grandmother had dementia. She did that. She would get angry and frustrated when she got confused. And that lasted up until right near the end where she was totally gone. Then it stopped. But on the bridge to being so demented that you barely know what's going on anymore, let alone who's in the room, on your way to that, you had this, where you couldn't follow a conversation. Mentally speaking, you were unable to follow who was saying what was being said, what you're thinking at the time, and what you plan on responding in return. You have difficulty with all of that, and so you get frustrated. But based on my experience with a family member, a direct family member who I spoke with on a day-to-day basis until the day she died, I recognize the same signs in Joe Biden. They're there. They've been there for a while, and it appears to me that this guy is deteriorating. Again, there's videos floating around. Compare him in 2012 to now. It's unbelievable. And have Bernie Sanders win the nomination. Put ideology aside. Give it to Buttigieg or somebody. Give it to somebody who I disagree with, but I think is mentally all there. With Bernie, he's a liar and that sort of thing. And there's many ways in which that we can knock Bernie. But I don't think that Bernie, despite everything, is just not mentally there. He's old and has telltale signs of that, but he's not demented from what I can tell. Joe Biden, I don't know if you could say the same thing about him. At first, I want to have the reaction everyone has. I want to laugh at him and, make fun of him, meme on him. But to me, it's sad and it's dangerous. It's like, here we are where my father's going to pull the lever for this fucking guy. My father's union has already backed him. Is already gone full tilt, like, we're rah-rah Joe Biden. And it's like, I already know that a whole bunch of members within the union actively do not like him because they see him as two-faced on NAFTA. And they're right about that. He is two-faced. He's been two-faced on fucking everything because Joe Biden has been in politics forever. Joe Biden is weak on trade. He's a fucking supplicant of the Chinese. So I wouldn't trust him as far as I could fucking throw him. And anyone that's going to be advising this guy is going to be an open borders globalist. They're going to be a neoliberal through and through. You're not going to have any nationalists in the room whatsoever because we barely have that now with Trump. If Trump is surrounded by internationalists, is Biden going to be any better? I highly fucking doubt it. So all these unions, it makes me sick. It's like, you fucking assholes. Like, you'd rather endorse a demented fucking loser than you would go to the bargaining table with a fucking Republican, the most nationalist Republican in several lifetimes, and you're not even willing to go to the negotiation table with him. You're endorsing a demented fucking globalist. But that is a tangent. So let's set up the context of this conversation. Joe Biden goes to an automotive plant in Michigan. I'm going to show you very quickly an electoral map from the last election, 2016. This is a state they need to take back. This is a very important state. Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida. These are the states they need to take back. The Democrats desperately need these states. And based on the numbers, based on some strategic moves on Trump's part, I don't think they're going to get Florida. If it's Biden-Trump, it's going to be closer than if it were Bernie. In Biden's case, he needs to win back Wisconsin. He needs to win back Michigan, which is where he's campaigning. And I think the Democrats have their convention there as well, in Milwaukee. They need Pennsylvania. They're probably not going to get it. They need Ohio, and chances are they're not going to get it. They need Florida badly. And I imagine they're going to be pumping a lot of money there. I don't think they're going to get Florida either. And once they lose those, that's it. That's the election. So I would say that so long as the Republicans know where to campaign, so long as they know where, like, if I were Trump, I would have Mike Pence in every one of those states throughout the election. Trump goes there, but you keep Pence on rotation for the entire fucking election. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, just on rotation. That's the only states he fucking goes to. And occasionally Trump goes there too, to one of those states during the election. But you keep Pence in every one of those states giving speeches to the effect of jobs, jobs, economy, economy, manufacturing, manufacturing, etc., nationalism, whatever. You do that, You pick up those states, fuck every other state in the fucking union. Hopefully there's somebody in the room with a fucking brain who's advising Trump on that matter. But, again, a tangent. Biden is in Michigan because they desperately need to take it back from the Republicans. So he's going to these blue-collar plants to try to gin up support. But the problem is that a smart politician, if he doesn't have an answer to a question, he just walks away. He says, well, let's agree to disagree, but I'd appreciate your vote anyways. It's good talking to you, good meeting you. If we had more time, maybe we can have a sit down and discuss this, but I gotta go. There's a million things I gotta do today. I'm sorry. You know, there's a way in which you can handle the situation where you likely have a Republican who disagrees with you that's getting in your face saying, hey, I disagree with you. You're trying to restrict my rights. There's a cogent and intelligent way. And somebody like Ted Cruz or the Governor Newsom of California, slick politicians know how to do this. Dumb politicians like Chris Christie just get in your fucking face. And that's the bad move to make. You want to come off as big and, puff yourself up and you're a tough guy, but you look stupid. You look stupid shouting at someone and getting in their face like Biden does in this. You look dumb and irrational. And when you want to get fiery, do that in a speech. Don't dress down someone in the audience outside if they rush the stage and you get them off the stage and you do what Trump did. Get them out of here. Get them out. Blah, blah. That's fine because they're the ones that are doing something inappropriate. I know how that sounds like it's optics and that sort of thing. It is optics to some degree, but tactically, you got to know that when you got 40 people in a room with cameras on you, you can't be in this guy's face, shoving your finger in his face, telling him, hey, let's go outside. Hey, I'm going to smack you in the face. You're full of shit. Like, you can say that passing him with a smug smile, like the person is objectively wrong about something. Hey, you're a Holocaust denier. You're full of shit, and you laugh and you walk by. That's fine. But when you're getting in his face and he's saying to you, you're bad on guns. Oh, you're so full of shit. So what's his context? What is his context for you're bad on guns? You're anti-Second Amendment. It's him wrapping his arm around Beto O'Rourke, who is the most radical Democrat on guns. As far as I'm aware, there's no one outside of like the Democratic Socialist Party or the Green Party or some insanely far-left party. There's no one more radical on guns than Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke is the most radical Democrat that I'm aware of. He is full-blown confiscation. We're going to fucking make it illegal. We're going to invade your house. We're going to take your property. And if you disagree, we're going to shoot you dead. And he will just tell you that. No implication, no trying to, constrain themselves and dance around it and veil what they're trying to do and be tactful and that sort of thing. No, he's just like, we're coming into your house. We're taking your guns. If you try to stop us, we'll kill you, and that'll be the end of it. It'll be two birds with one stone at that point. We'll get you gunned and we'll kill you dead. So now we'll have one less Republican voter to deal with. Beto O'Rourke is radical. And Joe Biden wrapped his fucking arm around this guy when he was being endorsed by him. And it was like, we're going to put this guy in charge of, new gun legislation. And the problem is that maybe that's not what Joe meant. Maybe Joe's half lying, half demented. We don't fucking know. But the fact is, when you wrap your arm around the guy that is the most radical guy on guns, you can't just say thank you for the endorsement, Beta. Go back to Texas or wherever the fuck you're from. You can't just say that. No, you go, we're putting this guy in charge of gun reform. This guy is going to imply at least that this guy is going to have some kind of role in your administration.
I'm going to guarantee you this is not last year's scene of this guy. You're going to take care of the gun problem with me. You're going to be the one that leads this effort. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. We need you badly. The state needs you. The country needs you. You're the best.
If you're a Second Amendment guy, that scares you because that's what this guy is known for, is radical fucking constraints on gun ownership. So when this guy confronts you with that, that is a legitimate concern for him. That is his position, that he's afraid Democrats are coming for his rights. Not just his guns, but his rights. He's afraid. So he's confronting you about that. And rather than handle it the way you should, which is either you address him or you blow him off. Tactfully. Those are the two ways you can fucking handle it. And Joe Biden just goes full dementia, and it is terrible. And so that's what we're going to watch. Thankfully, who is it? Benny Johnson added subtitles to this because it's hard to hear because there's a lot of background noise, and I'll try to do my best so that you can understand it, but there's subtitles in case you need it.
And you are actively trying to diminish your Second Amendment right and take away your gun.
You're full of shit.
So that's the first few seconds. You're trying to take away my rights. Joe Biden says you're full of shit. The context, again, is the endorsement of Beto O'Rourke, you putting your arm around him saying this guy is going to have some kind of role in my government, in my administration.
I'm going to guarantee you this is not last year's scene of this guy. You're going to take care of the gun problem with me. You're going to be the one that leads this effort. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. We need you badly. The state needs you. The country needs you. You're the best.
He names it guns. And this guy is known for being radical, the most radical on guns. That is the context. Maybe you forgot that, Joe Biden. Maybe you don't even know who Beto O'Rourke is. Maybe you think it's 1969. But the fact is that regardless of that situation, that is the context of what he's talking about. So when you say you're full of shit, you are just incorrect. He is not full of shit. He's speaking to something specific. You could have received the endorsement, said nothing, you didn't. You brought up guns, and you endorsed that position of the most radical Democrat when it comes to firearms.
Now go to shush. Shush.
Second mistake on Biden's part, shushing his own fucking handler. His handler is this short black woman to his left who eventually drags him away from the conversation. He shushes her. And that's the problem. You need a handler that can just stand in between the two and then push him away. Some, effeminate black woman who's short as fuck, you need someone stronger than that to be your wrangler. I'm sure if I were in politics, I would need somebody who's 6'3", 250, and could just step right in between me and the guy that I'm getting into an argument with because, I have boomer dementia. This year I'm turning 30, I'm going to probably have dementia. It runs in my family. So if I ever run for any kind of office, I'm going to need a wrangler to pull me away for somebody I'm getting into an argument with. And they're going to be, have to be taller than me, way more than me, and have the aggressiveness or the confidence to step in between me and someone that I'm in the middle of a destructive argument with. That's not helping me politically.
I support the Second Amendment. Second Amendment, just like right now, if you yell fire, that's not free speech.
Okay, Joe, I can't stand this about everyone. This is true of Biden, and he should know this, being that he's been in politics for... What is the case? Something Ohio. Brandenburg versus Ohio. Bro, I haven't been to college in years. I was on a case this morning. I just drove 2 hours home. I just thought about what the fucking case was. I just remember. I'm going to look it up. Brandenburg, Ohio, to make sure I'm right. I'm fucking right. In 1969. Come on, Biden. This is what you think the current year is. Shouldn't you know this? I mean, maybe it's a little bit earlier in the year. Maybe he's stuck in the time period prior to when Brandenburg versus Ohio was decided. But the fact is, you can yell fire in a crowded theater. What you can't do is, you're in a theater, somebody yells fire, and then somebody else says, hey, that person just yelled fire, let's beat the fuck out of him. And then everyone beats the fuck out of him. There you go. You just incited violence. That is the actual precedent. It isn't, oh, somebody yelled fire at a theater. That's not the precedence. It hasn't been the precedence since fucking 1919 or whatever the prior case was. This was a landmark decision. Why the fuck do I know this? And I haven't been to college in fucking 5 years.
From the very beginning, I have a shotgun, I have a 20 gauge, a 12 gauge, my son's hunt. Guess what? You're not allowed to own any weapons. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
What does that mean? Can anyone follow this? I own a shotgun. I own 2 shotguns. What do you want, 100 rounds? What? That is a non sequitur. What the fuck are you talking about, Joe?
So when you were in Beto and you said you're going to take our guns,
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
Video.
It's a viral video like the other ones they're putting out that they're saying they're lying.
Your voice, you said that you're taking the guns.
Well, he just clarified it.
So I thought to add this while editing the video. Biden didn't say, literally, I'm coming for your guns. That sounds like something Beta said on a different occasion. Biden did say that the guy that wants to grab your guns is going to play an instrumental role in helping Biden take your guns. He didn't literally say that, but this is the difference between taking Biden literally and taking him seriously. In this case, Biden is saying, I didn't literally say that. The guy is poorly articulating that he seriously implied that by his endorsement of Beto O'Rourke in being like the gun czar for his administration. I don't really know how else to take the endorsement. What else could he have meant by endorsing this guy as he was being endorsed? It appears to me that he is saying that Joe Biden is going to take gun safety, quote-unquote, seriously, and that Beto O'Rourke is going to play a part in his administration, because how else would you accomplish gun reform but through legislation?
Wait. Take the AR-14s and what?
I didn't say that. I support the Second Amendment. I support the 19th Amendment. Hey, I support the 19th Amendment, okay? I'm not coming for your guns. Except for the AR-14s, I'm coming for those. I mean, this is what I mean. I support the Second Amendment. I'm just coming for these guns. Also those guns, and these guns, and that grip, and this grip. It's like, you can't say you're in favor of the Second Amendment when your entire basis on the Second Amendment is all the things you want to restrict. And what is the justification for it? Other than some mass shootings, infrequent mass shootings, when, okay, even if that's the gauge, let's say it's mass shootings. Well, is it just when, white fucking incels go out there and shoot some people with an AR-15, they steal off their parents? Is that the one situation of why we need to restrict people's rights and take away these guns, confiscate them, and if people refuse to give up their property, we shoot them dead? AKA Beto O'Rourke's fucking policy? What's the justification? We'll get to that in a second.
This is not okay.
Hold on. Hey, let's get moving. There's a lot of guys.
You'll see here, Biden moves in on this guy. He says, you want to take it outside? And moves in on him. And the guy, steps back. What the fuck? The former vice president is like, yo, bro, I'm 80 years old. And you're 20. And you work in an automotive plant. You want to go outside? Why are you threatening him? Again, I'm telling you, dude, that the guy does have a temper, but I'm telling you specifically, he is confused. That is why he's getting so angry.
A lot of guys want to.
I'm not working.
Thanks so much.
Give me a break.
Don't be such a worry
You're
guy.
up on me.
Hey, there's a lot of
Hey.
Look,
Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal, fat.
Are you able to own a machine gun?
I own a machine gun.
I said, are you able to own one?
Machine guns are illegal.
That's right. So AR-15's illegal.
How is that in a machine gun?
No, it's not.
Semi-automatic.
If you have a semi-automatic rifle with a pistol grip and a long barrel, that's a rifle. But what happens when it's the same cartridge, same caliber, it has a pistol grip, but it's a pistol. It doesn't have the long barrel. That then isn't a rifle, even though it has the same grip and it shoots the same cartridge. It might be just a matter of distance. It's not even a matter of it. They're both semi-automatic. It's like, what is a machine gun? Do you mean a machine gun that is an actual machine gun, which you shoot for long enough, you have to change out the fucking barrel? Or are you talking about a submachine gun? Like a Tommy gun, a Thompson submachine gun. Is that what we're talking about? My problem with this is that so much of this is so nebulous, it's so vague. I don't know what anyone's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about, Joe Biden or the auto worker. I don't know what anyone's talking about. What do you mean by machine gun? Because isn't there two different bands? There's the band from the 20s and there's the band from the 80s? Isn't there multiple bands on completely different categories of whatever machine guns are? My problem with, agreeing to any kind of compromise on restricting the Second Amendment is that it's like, this is all nonsensical. And we're going to get into in a second here, no one can justify why they want this. There's no justification for why we need to ban the scary black AR-14s. Because it isn't mass shootings. You can say that, but it's not true. And the guy is going to cite the exact reason why in a second here.
Yeah, do you need 100 rounds? Do you need 100 rounds?
So I can only say that Joe Biden is confused. He just gets irrationally angry as they're talking about the definition of what is or what isn't a machine gun. And the guy himself is also confused. Like, what are we referencing here? Is the AR-15 a machine gun? What are we talking about? And Joe Biden just screams in his face. And you can see this on different, like, cameras. Different people who recorded this. He just screams in his face, you know, do you need 100 rounds? Do you need 100 rounds? Why are you yelling? Why the fuck are you yelling about the amount of bullets that you can have in a magazine? What relevance does that have to what is or isn't a machine gun? We're talking about whether the AR-15 is or isn't a machine gun, and if we are or aren't allowed to own it. Because it may or may not be illegal according to Joe Biden currently.
In America, with handguns, and there are what you call assault rifles. Why are you advocating for assault rifles when people are buying for handguns?
Boom! There you go. There you go. Right in his face. Right in his face. The statistical reality of the situation that overwhelmingly, whether it's mass shootings, gun crime, homicide, whatever, robberies, like armed robberies, any of it, overwhelmingly, the statistics show, and this has always been true as far as I'm aware, that pistols are just absolutely the totality of the weapons of choice of criminals. So when you want to talk about criminality and misuse of firearms, you must address pistols. And so much of this is dishonesty. So much of this is just going down the road of we get our database for who owns guns and we're just going to go after rifles. The next step is going to be pistols. What is the principle? What is the limiting factor that Democrats hold to for why they're not going to come for shotguns, which Joe Biden references and has many times in the past? What is the limiting principle for why Democrats aren't going to come for my pistol? What is it? What is it? Because the minute they get rifles and they ban rifles, then they could turn around and say, well, we banned rifles, but hey, look, overwhelmingly, crimes are committed by pistols, so now we need to come for your pistols too. When it comes to the logic of this legislation, of this policy, every step is laid out for how we go from we're going to ban the scary black AR-14s to we're going to ban all guns. The policy is there. The principle is there. The logic flows in that direction. There is nothing that says that Joe Biden or any other politician that is a Democrat is going to stop with AR-14s. Once we ban assault rifle 14s, what is the limiting principle to prevent us from going further and banning something else, banning something more? What is it? In terms of rifles now, what is your justification? Because as this intelligent auto worker did, he threw it right back in your face that pistols are the primary source of gun violence, are the primary source of mass shootings. So why aren't you addressing that? And the reason is well, in Joe's case, he doesn't know who he's talking to. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what year it is. But for everybody else, it's dishonesty. It is cynicism. That is the reason, sir, why they're not addressing pistols. They don't want to. The plan isn't that. It's to confiscate your property and to do so with the force of the government. Before I end this, though, I want to address this one other union worker, this other automotive worker, who pissed me off in this because I don't think he's a supervisor or like a union rep or this guy's superior. I just think he's another worker who's trying to push this guy away from Biden because he realizes that Biden is embarrassing himself. I'll play you the video of this guy, like, wrapping his arm around the worker who's speaking and trying to shove him away and what he says afterward. Because I want to address this guy.
Okay, this is not okay.
Hold on. And let's keep moving. There's a lot of guys. A lot of guys want it.
I'm not worried. Hold on. Give me a break. Hey. Look, here's the deal. Are you able?
By the way, That's physical intimidation. I'm not saying, oh my God, this guy's evil. That's what he's doing. He's putting his arm around him to try to physically intimidate him, to try to get him to back off. He's trying to get this worker to back off because I think he realizes that Biden is embarrassing himself in this situation. Because he is.
I said, are you able to own one?
Machine guns are illegal.
That's right. So AR-15's illegal.
I was out of the machine gun.
No, it's not.
Semi-automatic.
Yeah, do you need 100 rounds? Do you need 100 rounds?
More deaths in America from handguns than there are what you call assault rifles. Why are you advocating for assault rifles when people are dying by handguns?
Okay, let's...
I represent my individual mind. Thank you. I'm representing me. Because I'm a fucking...
When he answered your question, you kept on.
That's fine. You guys have your own...
He pushes him away and he says, you're embarrassing us. You're making us look bad. You have to represent us in a certain way. And this guy says right back, and this is the difference between a collectivist and an individualist. He says, I'm representing me. I'm representing my voice. It has nothing to do with anyone else in the factory. It has everything to do with my opinion and the distinction that I have with this fucking politician. So I have to say, to the guy in the round helmet that pushes him away, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. This guy is absolutely entitled to his opinion. It don't matter that maybe you're in the same union. You're in the same workplace. He's not there as a fucking manager representing, and you should know this is a fucking worker. Especially if this is a union factory, which I believe it is. You should realize that this guy is absolutely entitled to pull the lever either fucking way. And if he has something to say to this politician, who the fuck are you to get... He's not going up there and saying, as a representative of local whatever, here's what I have to say to you, politician, as a representative. He's not fucking saying that. So get the fuck out of this guy's face with this bullshit. You're embarrassing us. Bro, you're the embarrassment. You're the embarrassment. You're trying to shove me away because this fucking demented cocksucker is telling me we need to go outside and fist fight over the fact that he's confused as to what his fucking policy is on guns. While this guy wasn't perfect in trying to debate Joe Biden on guns, the fact is that he could have probably done better if Joe Biden wasn't fucking demented. If he was debating somebody or arguing with someone that was rational. This guy's just confused. The guy is trying to, say, what do you mean by this? What's a machine gun by your definition? And Joe Biden's like, you need 100 rounds? Why do you think you need 100 rounds? This guy can't even keep on point to what his definition of a machine gun is. He can't even explain whether he believes AR-14s to be legal or otherwise. He confused it so badly in this that this guy is just looking for fucking clarification. And Joe Biden doesn't help by screaming in the guy's face about something that is completely irrelevant to what is then being discussed. If you go towards what the restrictions should or shouldn't be on how many bullets you should be allowed to have in a magazine according to the fucking state that knows nothing about firearm ownership, apparently. And by the way, those fucking restrictions will never apply to the police because, like it was in New York, they will sue you and they will have the unions come after you, and then the politicians will roll over, or the courts will just be like, no. The state literally doesn't have the authority to restrict the number of rounds that police can carry, which is amazing to me. It's amazing to me that as a citizen, I am allowed to have my rights taken away or restricted, but when it comes to the police, no, bro, it's just carte blanche. They can do whatever the fuck they want in that regard, according to the government, according to the judges. They're like, no. You can oppress the citizens, you can take away their rights, but when it comes to state agents, no, they can do whatever the fuck they want. We're gonna hold them to a lower standard. And by the way, I'm not saying that police should have, they need it. They need to have as many rounds in the magazine as is required. And if you see some fucking shooting videos, some body cam videos, you know they need more than 10 rounds in that magazine sometimes when they're in fucking shootouts with gangbangers and whatnot. Or, people who are suicidal. So if they need those rounds, why is it that I don't? If I get some suicidal, mentally ill lunatic coming up to me trying to pick a fight because he wants to kill everyone or kill himself, why am I not allowed to defend myself. But police are allowed. They got carte blanche to do whatever the fuck. But me, I can just die, according to the state and according to judges. I remember a point in my life where I was more willing to have this debate, where I was more willing to debate the idea of restricting firearms and that sort of thing. But it's like, the more you think about it, the less it makes sense. The less restrictions make sense. Because the fact is that criminals are not going to obey the law. There's so many guns in circulation, and you can modify weapons so that they can get automatic weapons, and there's nothing you can do as a law-abiding gun owner. It's like, why are we the ones restricted in defending ourselves when we are the fucking pay pigs? When we are the host for the parasite that is the state? Why is it that you can tax us to death and we have to obey the law perfectly in every situation, or else we go to jail? If there's a warrant out, we show up and turn ourselves in. But, you know, to the criminal, it's just a fucking free ride. They don't show up, and they fuck up, they kill people, they assault people, and it's just like, hey, we're just going to let them out early. They can rob people, they can steal my property, and the whole state, every apparatus within the state, it's like the courts, the governor's office, the prosecutor's office, everyone's looking out for the fucking criminal. Everyone's looking out for the degenerates and the criminals. But is anyone looking out for us pay pigs? For the law-abiding citizens? For the host of the fucking parasite? Is anyone looking out for us? No, of course. We need to be oppressed, suppressed, and have our rights restricted because fuck us. But, yes, we have a demented man running for office, and he is confused on what guns he's going to ban, or whether they're already banned, or what year it is. And like I said, he might be currently in early 1969, where he forgets about Brandenburg versus Ohio. But as someone living in 2020, I'm here to tell you, Joe Biden, that the court has already rendered their decision. Shouting fire in a crowded theater is not incitement to violence. And stay the fuck away from our guns, please, you demented old man. Thanks for watching.